All right. This reading is sure to be a strange one, but I want to do a reading on doppelgangers. I have had some bizarre experiences over the past couple of years that are leading me to do this, but I guess when I say doppelganger, I mean another version of a person. In my case, another version of me, which I've actually fucking seen out of the corner of my eye more than once. And it was weird. And there's been a bunch of stuff through dreams that has led me down the path to ask this question. But doppelgangers or the double version, like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, is it a thing? How is it a thing? Or whatever. Now, this makes sense that the Two of Cups is on the bottom, but the tarot cards have shown this a few times in different readings. They basically say that where there is one, there are two. And it seems to be the case with people. It might be with stuff too, but if you are one person, there's another version of you. And basically, that's just what I'm looking at. What the fuck is going on here? Now, the Two of Cups, I mean, other than it just being a two, I guess the Two of Cups would show maybe two slightly different versions because this is theoretically the male and the female. Um, but what I have found in my own experience, or no, I shouldn't say, what I am guessing out of my own experience is this might actually show two different perspectives, rather than being like one a masculine and one a feminine or whatever. It's like two different perspectives. And our main card here is a Five of Pentacles. Now, I just want to look on either side of this Five of Pentacles to see what part of it is being shown. The Fool and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. So the Five of Pentacles, here we have this kind of exiled soul. They're out there wandering around by themselves and they're being observed. And what leads up to that? The Fool. And that's the beginning of a new journey. I mean, that would be the initial portal. It would be something like birth. And as it moves forward, it moves into a Nine of Pentacles. Boy, I don't know what to read in this Nine of Pentacles other than financial gain, like monetary well-being, I guess. It's the exact opposite of the Five of Pentacles. Here, this person has no money, no place to stay, and the Nine of Pentacles is about having abundance. This is interesting because just through my own musings, we'll say, I have been in this state for a while, right? And just sort of not having the money to do the things that I want to do. And I have had the distinct impression a couple of times that when I am happy, the other one is sad. And if the other one is sad, then I am happy, or something like that. And maybe this is showing that kind of dynamic. I guess. So if this is showing potentially there being two, my real question is why and or how. Okay, so the Two of Wands is these two different things that are being wielded together. So I guess it would kind of show that we're both part of the same tool. We're like two different handles of the same thing. Um, Weird. Okay, so in this, what really happens, the person's trying to dig a hole in the ground. They keep breaking their shovels. And here they take two shovels and they tie them together and they make this new tool. So if I am one of these and my doppelganger is one of these, then who the fuck is wielding the goddamn tool, right? I mean, who would have done this or whatever? Boy, nothing's screaming to come out here. I'm going to shuffle these. Maybe I'll collect them all because the answer might be one of the cards that are behind it. So let's collect all of these. Now, if I'm one of the two sticks, who the fuck is wielding the sticks? And we get the tower. All right. I guess the thing that is really sticking out is just the beam that comes down and blows up the tower itself. So I guess that would be a beam coming from space. Like, what is this? Some alien shit? Is that what we're looking at? Oi. And we get the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So it looks like something like alien shit. The Black Dragon, this is a symbol that has a lot of meaning for me personally. But here is the universe gate, right? And I would take this to mean essentially energy from space or energy coming from not fucking here. And this is the thing that has created these two different things, one of which is the person, and the other is the other version of the person. Okay, hold on now. How do we share space? In my case, what happened? There was a journal entry that was made in my journal on a very specific day, and it was about a dream, an incredibly vivid dream that I had and have told. I've told the story of this dream to hundreds of people. It was so powerful, right? It was one of those. And as I look in my journal, I see the day that I had this dream, and I see a journal entry about this dream, but it's not the dream that I had. It's a dream that has some of the same qualities as the dream that I had, but it's not the same one, which is how I initially started going on this whole thing about maybe it's just a different perspective, like the other version of me, which I have actually fucking seen twice, right? The other version of me just has like a slightly different perspective. Okay, so how do we share space? And the five of wands would show that we kind of compete for space. What else we got going on here? And it probably sucks to do so. Geez Louise. Now, what seems like if this other version of me was able to physically make a journal entry, right? That means that they were in this physical reality. So is this like a rotating thing? I mean, do we rotate physical realities or are we fucking both here all the time? And so I initially did this, at least a short form version of this reading for myself last night. And this was the first card that came out showing me the two different versions, right? So I guess, do we rotate? The sun would say, I think, that we are actually both here all the time. Jesus. All right. So I don't know if anyone else has had any experiences like this. All right. There's a specific question I was about to ask, and I've got a card that wants to come out. Whoop. The question that I was going to ask is there any way to make this bizarre happening useful? Like, is it a fucking superpower, right? Could it be a superpower? And the card that comes out is the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is the militant commander. They are making decisions not necessarily based in emotion. Now, here, this is their toady. So the King of Swords gives the order, and then this one kind of carries it out. So maybe, I guess, no, that still doesn't necessarily make sense to me, unless each version has a slightly different emotional bias, right? I can see how that would be true. So maybe if one of the versions is just so emotionally wrapped up in a situation that they can't see it clearly, it could be that the other version isn't as emotionally fucked up about it. So maybe that is when they step in. But I didn't really have a question even for this, but I'm going to ask the question now. Is this something that can be consciously controlled? Right? Can you fucking tag in your doppelganger? No. The reversed Six of Wands would say no. There is like a lack of recognition. If you did try to tag in your doppelganger, I don't think they would actually know that you were doing it. All right. Well, so is this automatic? Is this something that is true about everybody? Because the cards have shown before that it's just some weird fact about stuff that where there is one, there are actually two. I always assume that that was talking about the shadow realm or something like that. But let's just see. So, is this something that happens to everybody? And we get a reverse Two of Pentacles. Okay. Now, the Two of Pentacles would be a yes, because here are these, again, two different things that are wielded by one thing, and they kind of fucking rotate back and forth. This is also one of the cards that came out when I was trying to figure this out last night. But as far as is this something that is true about every person, this thing being reversed, it's like, I don't know, like if maybe one would just win out, one would become so heavy that the other one couldn't exist. Like one would sort of obliterate the other or something like that. I'm going to see if I'm on the right track here, because maybe there are actually two. Am I on the right track? And the Ace of Cups would say, yes, I am. So I guess maybe just like in the womb, sometimes identical twins, like or twins in the womb, one will eat the other, right? And maybe that's what happens with people. The people would eat their doppelganger, or their doppelganger would eat them, or something like that. Now, geez, where the hell do we go from here? God, I don't even know what to ask. So, are the single person in the doppelganger, are they fucking stuck together? Are they tethered together? Let's just see what we get. All right. In the reverse world again. Well, the moon would say yes, tethered together, because they're both tethered to the same thing. And that would go back to the black dragon that we saw earlier. Um, so both kind of, I mean, they're not tethered to each other. Here, the two figures, like their legs are kind of crossed together because they're kind of clumsy. But all of the tethers of these two are actually tethered to the moon. So the moon would represent the one thing that each version of a person is stuck to. Now, once again, we get this fucking reverse world. And let's just look a little closer at this. And I guess immediately what's coming out are the candles. So we have a flame lit on each side of that candle. And maybe that's kind of how it works. Like we're each a flame on either side of a candle, something, something. But the fact that this card is reversed, so the world is the ending, it's like the gateway into the next life or the next stage or whatever. And that shit being upside down is like the inability to move through the gate. So, to the original question, are we stuck together? I mean, I suppose as long as we are in this life, as long as we're in this world, and as long as we don't go through the portal to the next land, that we would be sort of stuck together. I suppose the thing that we are each tethered to could fucking manipulate us to be apart. That would be fucking really something. Actually, I want to see if that can happen. I mean, could one version of me. So, this journal entry thing, this happened while I was in Bosnia. So, that means both versions of me went there, right? Because that entry was written when I was in Mostar. So, could it happen that one could go one direction and the other could go the other direction? I have no fucking clue really how to read this. The King of Pentacles wouldn't be an answer to that question at all. And the Five of Swords is just showing this like trolling sort of energy. Maybe this means if one of us got rich enough, and the other one had nothing, that one would be able to do it and the other one wouldn't. Well, there's one more card that just wants to spit out, and it's the Hierophant. And as I look at it, it's the prayer hands. Maybe it is worth doing this to try to, I mean, number one, to send maybe some sort of healing or guiding energy or whatever to the other version. But also, it could be that this sort of peace and meditation energy can give some sort of clarity to this. I mean, I don't really know where to go from here, but I would love to hear what you think about this. And if you have any doppelganger like experience, or if you know more about this than I do, I would fucking love to hear any theories, any stories, any of that shit. And if you have an idea of what other angle you would like me to look at this from, feel free to let me know. That's what we have for now, and peace.